Welcome to Byte Me, where we're squashing bugs one bite at a time. Today we're going to be doing Chapter 5 of my mini Rust series. So let's jump into this video. So this file is called Meet the Employees and Clients. The bit is the agency's paperwork has caught up with reality. Management finally demands actual employee records after discovering nobody knows how many people currently work there. Your employee is Debra, whose sanity has been in freefall since the swamp landlord case. Your client is a man whose case description reads, insists his own shadow filed a restraining order against him. Now, your mission is to define structs for your core character types so later chapters have something to build on. All right, you have the steps. You can go try this on your own and come back for the solution. All right, you're back. Let's get started. First, we're going to create the main function. Function main. This is where all your code will be executed from. Step 2, define an employee struct with exactly these three fields: name, job title, and sanity level. Struct employee. That's the name of our struct. We're going to be taking these three fields and putting them within our struct. Name is a string. Okay, on to step 3. Define a client struct with exactly these three fields: name, case description, and weirdness rating. So we're going to create another struct called client. First field is name, which is a string. Next field is case description, which is also a string. Lastly, we have weird rating, which is an i32-bit integer. 4. Inside main, create one employee instance and one client instance using made-up example data. So let's copy and paste this into main. So we're going to create one employee instance and one client instance. So we're going to let employee equal our employee struct. Within the employee struct, we're going to make up some example data. So for employee, we have a string. Her name will be Debra. As you can see over here, your employee is Debra. Her job title will be a string as well. I'm going to put her job title as assistant manager. So we're going to do a string : from assistant manager. Make sure to put your comma. Then we're going to put her sanity level pretty low because she is not the same after that. It says whose sanity level has been in free fall since the swamp landlord case. So I would say it's pretty low. I'm going to put her as 20. Put your semicolon at the end because we are creating a let statement over here. Then we're going to create another one called client. We're referencing our client struct. Within that struct, we have name. Oh, my bad. We need to put string : from for Debra's name as well. Okay, back to client. So client's name, I'm going to name him Dan. Okay, we're going to do a string : from, and his name is Dan. Case description, I'm going to just copy and paste. So we're going to do a string : from again. And his case description reads, insists his own shadow filed a restraining order against him. So let's just copy and paste that. All right, weirdness rating. I'd say his weirdness rating is pretty high, so I'm going to give him an 86. Step 5, write a function named introduceEmployee that takes a reference to an employee and prints its name and job title in a sentence. So we're taking function introduceEmployee. we're going to take a parameter, which is employee, and we're referencing our struct, which is also called employee. Within the function, we're just going to do a print line statement to our terminal. We're going to place our curly brackets, works here as a blank. So that should say Debra works here as an assistant manager. To reference the fields within the struct, we're going to use the employee parameter that we created, and then we're going to use dot notation to specify fields within our struct. For number 6, we're going to be writing a function named introduceClient that takes a reference to a client, which is our struct, and prints its name and case description in the sentence. So function introduceClient, we're printing the name, so blank, case file reads blank. And this is going to be, client.name, and we're also going to do client.case description. Okay, number 7, call both functions from main with your sample instances. So we're going to put this in main. Okay, we're going to call both of our functions, introduce employee and introduce client. Within our first function, and make sure these are indented. Within our first function, we're going to reference the employee variable. Make sure you put your semicolon. And within the second function that we're calling, we're going to reference the client variable. Open up your terminal. Make sure you're in the source directory and the bin directory. And then we're going to do a cargo run --bin chapter 5. Okay, it seems that I have an error. Let me take a look. I figured out what the issue was. We forgot to reference client within this function. Everything should be working now. I just forgot to reference client here within this introduce client function. That is my bad. Alright, so we're going to do a cargo run --bin chapter 5. Alright, and you can see it ran clean. Debra works here as an assistant manager, and Dan's case file reads insists his own shadow filed a restraining order against him. So that is the end of chapter 5. Stay tuned for chapter 6 in the next video.